Hi, this is Charlie with Beach World Assay. Today I wanted to go over sterling silver items that are weighted and reinforced. I have a couple of examples that I want to show you right here. If you look at this is basically a couple of candlestick holders. These come in all sizes. This is a rather large one right here. If you look at the back, and this is unfortunately very hard to see, and I don't think the camera's going to pick it up, but it does say on the back here that it is sterling silver. It is cement filled and reinforced with rod, so that's what this states. And the reason for the video is that we like to explain to our customers that basically the entire weight, of course, is not sterling silver. There's a lot of waste in here, and we want to make sure that whenever somebody comes in, they understand that there's only a small percentage of the weight in these items that is actually sterling silver. These end up getting peeled, for lack of a better word. It's like a very thick aluminum foil, if you want to consider it that way. And then that's how we're able to then recycle and then resell the sterling that way. Here's a smaller one, and this one's hopefully a little bit easier to see. It's marked, it says specifically sterling. Let's focus here. Sterling, and it does say weighted at the bottom there. And so what I want to do is I'm going to weigh them before and then weigh the actual product that we are able to get out of it after. So if we look at the first one, we put it on the scale, and this is not for trade scale that we use. It is weighing 77.5 pennyweights, we'll say. And so we'll just mark that down, 77.5. We'll just say small. Then we'll look at the larger one, and we'll see the weight. That one is very heavy at 207 pennyweights. And I'm just writing this down so that we can see the before and after for the video's sake. It's all in pennyweight. So the next step is that we actually take these apart, we peel them, and keep all of the product separate for the video's sake to see how much the actual end result weighs. Alright, I'm going to try to capture this on camera the best that I can without hitting the camera or, you know, making it so it's as clear as possible for you to see. But these are the tools that we use, and this is what we use anyway. I'm sure there's other ways of actually doing this, but these are the type of tools that we have found to be, they're basically end cutters, and available at major jewelry suppliers and things like that. The first step is that we look at the bottom. Sometimes they're peeled under, as far as the big surface right here, and sometimes you actually have to peel them from this side. But we'll just show kind of the whole process here. This isn't going to be very interesting, but hopefully it won't take me too long to get this done. And again, this is just to give you an idea of what to expect. And if you look in there, you'll start to see that just pulling off this metal, you can get it started around the edges. And yes, you can start to see all the resin. This is more one that's like been filled with like a resin, and it normally is all broken down. These candlesticks are normally so old that they're just so dried out that the resin just cracks up. Some of the other things that you can see a plaster in here. Sometimes they're filled with sawdust. And you can see, in this case, this one came apart very easily. But this is the majority of that weight in there. If we look at the weight of just this by itself, you can see that that's 167 of those pennyweights right there. And then there's a little bit right there, and I've got to clean out this little part right here. Sorry, here's the 167 pennyweights. So we still have to clean out the rest of this in there, and normally that need to be done. And sometimes you have to peel it, but this is going to be. I might just twist out of there actually. Most of that stuff come out of there. And we got to get all that out of there to get an accurate weight. So now I'm going to pause the video and put the remnants on the scale. Or maybe I won't pause. We'll just do it. Kind of awkward here with this camera at this angle. And then let me say 20. We have 29.6 pennyweights of usable sterling. So you can see that it's just a very small percentage of that of the actual metal, or the item itself is actually sterling silver, and the rest of it's this nasty stuff here that just gets thrown in the trash. Alright, I've cleaned up a little bit. We'll go ahead and do the smaller one. This is the other one I showed you earlier. Yeah, it's just this one just says weighted sterling. So same, just like the first one. This one peels down. Normally that just comes off just like that. And sometimes the stuff inside, depending on how it's anchored, that rod that's in between, it's not even, easy at all. But normally it just takes a little bit of banging around and get most of that stuff out of there. You can see there's a good example of when you see these rods here. This is just there so that it reinforces this whole area when you have a candlestick in it. And the funny thing about these is that it's, when they made them, it just takes one time for them to fall off the table or something like that, or just very lightly to get dents in them, or when they fall they always tend to break right in this area. They're very fragile. That's why so much of them are just scrapped, and ultimately people don't really look at these for their homes anymore. It's just not really the style. Then we can peel off the top piece right here. You can see some more of that resin in there. And there's the top part with the candle. This time we have a little bit of leftover wax in there. That's always a good time. So, put that there, and we'll try to. In this case, sometimes it's easier to peel it. Let's see, it's like a really thin foil. It's thicker than aluminum foil for sure. And I wish this would zoom in on this, I wish it would focus, but there we go. So, and that's really all we get from it. And so, this is the only silver that's actually recyclable at this point. And so if we look at the total weight of the reclaimed silver, we have in this case we have only 7.8 pennyweights. Very little silver at all. And just forgive my chicken scratch here for a second, but the larger one that we started with started at 207 pennyweights. So we have 270 pennyweights of just total gross weight from that candlestick, down to 29.6 pennyweights of reclaimed silver. That leads to about a 14.2% of the total weight of that candlestick that's actually sterling silver, that's sellable, that's recyclable, that has value. The smaller one went from 77.5 pennyweights to 7.7 pennyweights, and that's really right at 10%. And that's really more along in line what we typically see. This one had maybe, sometimes different companies will use a little bit higher grade sterling silver foil where the gauge is higher and it's just a little bit nicer. Sometimes they're just slightly above the 10% mark, and a lot of times they're below the 10% mark. So on average, we see that they're about 10% of their total weight is actually sellable sterling silver, and that really only applies to candlestick holders. Every other item has a different average. We'll see that the candy bowls that are weighted at the bottom, and I'll probably show those in another video, that they have large surfaces. Those have a lot more sterling in them because it's just a small area that's weighted on the bottom. Anyway, I just hope this video helps. We like to show people, exactly, what's inside their items. We do have examples that we also show people in the store. But maybe this helps, other people in other parts of the country. If you just were curious, or you're wondering why the value of a candlestick is really almost nothing, this is really the case. So this is silver's in the $14 range right now, so you'd be looking at, I don't know, $5, $6, $7 or something like that of silver value in those things. So it's just not a whole lot, unfortunately. Maybe silver goes up and it gets better, but not many people are hanging on to these anymore. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and leave a comment if you notice anything, that you have any questions, or just want to say something. Anyway, thanks for watching. Charlie with Beachwood Assay. Thank you. Bye.